Greetings, citizens of the internet! You can call me Nitro Indigo, and welcome back to my extremely riveting Let's Play of Kirby's Dream Land 3. In the last episode, we cleared Grassland, and today we are going into the second level world place whatever, Ripple Field. Oh. Fun fact, this place, Ripple Field, is named after a location in a game. Fun fact, Ripple Field is named after a location in a shooter game that Hal made. More information about it will appear on screen momentarily because I'll look it up after because I will look it up while I am editing this. I am trying to get give my commentary more direction and not stutter as much like I just did. And we need the clean ability for this level's side quest. Oh, because I didn't explain this clearly enough in the last episode because I was stuttering. Also, there's an alcove in there. Interesting. Basically, that whenever you go into a room where the side quest can be completed, there's a jingle, and once you complete the side quest, there's a different jingle. Also, I've turned the game audio down because it used to drown out my commentary, well, not really drown it out, but the first two episodes recorded with the volume at 90, and then when, in the first episode when I was editing it, I had it 90 in Elgato Game Capture HD, and then for the first episode I turned it down to 10 in Power Director, and then for the second episode, we need pitch for this by the way, I turned it down to 5 in Power Director, but I didn't want the sound to be overwhelming, so I turned it down to 70 in Elgato Game Capture. Yeah, I used Power Director to edit because we just happened to have an install disc in a DVD. No, had to have it. Not in a DVD. We had an install disc in a drawer somewhere. And my only alternative is Windows Movie Maker, which, well, it actually supports MP4 files like every sensible video editing software does. It also desyncs game audio. Yeah, the thing about Power Director, which is really stupid, is that the only HD format it supports is MPEG-2, which is, I actually can't really tell the difference between MPEG-4 and MPEG-2 because the internet is a bit vague about it. Well, not really vague, it just gives me technical stuff I don't actually really understand. But it seems like ever since I've started using Power Director and converting my videos to MPEG-2s, and there's that house in the background by the way, it just seems like they've been taking longer to upload, which leads me to believe that MP4s are smaller than MPEG-2s, but I'm not so sure about that. So if anyone in the comments knows the answer to this, please could you enlighten me. Anyway, our side quest is to water the flowers. We need pitch for this, which means I can finally use my favourite animal friend. And there are these glove flowers. They probably have a name. Actually, they certainly have a name because everything in this game has a name. It shall be appearing on screen. Because, well, actually, not momentarily I was about to say, because it would appear on screen while the characters are actually on screen. Whenever I dress something and don't know its name, it will appear on screen. These enemies are called Rockies and the broom ones are called Broom Hatters. And I've already mentioned the orange flying enemies that are normally purple or pink are Bronto birds. Oh, also, there's a bit in the music coming up which I really like. And there was the clear jingle. Also pan flutes. I really like pan flutes ever since Spirit Tracks. Other games which make good use of pan flutes include the Klonoa games, or at least the main console ones. But I just really like pan flutes because of Spirit Tracks and Klonoa and now this game, even though I played this game before I really cared about Klonoa. I mean, I knew it existed back when I played this game in 2013. I just thought of it as... Actually, I didn't know it existed back in 2013 because I discovered Cadicarus through his review of Dalmatians 3 and I Lost Pitch, which came out in 2014, and... Well, the video, not the game, but... And his Klonoa review is how I discovered it, so... And I discovered Cadicarus through a video he uploaded in 2014, and then through him I discovered Klonoa, and then I started caring about it in 2016 when Exo Paradigm Game reviewed the whole series because I was watching a lot of Sonic videos at the time and he also reviewed Sonic. Are we all clear now? At least I'm improving on my direction and not stuttering as much as I did in the last episode where I tried to explain how music worked in video games. Oh, here's another thing I wanted to talk about. Here's a bit of an idea because I like doing analysis sometimes. There's something called the Story Improvement Drive. It's basically where you identify like the fundamental problems of a story you don't like but think it still could be salvaged in some way and then like come up with ways to improve it. Because I kind of want to do that for my arch nemesis Cars 2, but I've talked about that movie loads, and fun fact, I have not seen it for over a year because I've just memorised the whole thing because this is my life right now. Speaking of which, is it just me or is like Cars like the one kids thing that's shameful to like? Because nowadays people make a big deal about how adults like things for kids, but people are still like, well, Cars is still made fun of. People aren't made fun of for liking it, and I also like those bushes. But the grass looks a bit sharp. But like, what makes Cars any more unbelievable than something like Thomas the Tank Engine? Because the biggest criticism towards Cars is that it makes no sense and is the ultimate proof that those movies are lazily made and must be buried in the desert. But still... Also orange. I really like the colour orange. For this level, we'll need the umbrella ability, or at least for this level's side quest, I should have said, and that is a blooper. No, not blooper, a blipper, actually. Bloopers are the squids from Mario. Is it called blipper? If I'm wrong, something will appear on screen. If I'm not, then if I'm not wrong, then nothing will appear on screen. I really don't know what I'm talking about, except I do. I just don't really know the enemy names, because there is, like, something in the game that shows you all the enemy names, but I haven't gone and rewatched it because it's basically, it's a cutscene that names all the enemies. We need Kine as well. We need Umbrella and Kine, and there's also Choo Choo. She's not actually very good in water despite being an Okichoki, which is just like, Okichoki is now the plural of octopus. So what would the plural of platypus be then? Kine can swim against currents. Not speaking of, not currents as in the kinds of fruit, currents as in the one underwater ones. Because in video games, currents are just minor, auto scroll. Like, see this? Whee! Also, why did these fish wear goggles? Something just occurred to me that, well, and that something was what I just said. That was a bit of an oddly worded way to word my words. Self-demonstrating, yay! And these enemy things are called glunks. I don't like how there's shells in the walls and starfish that are pulsating for some reason. Although this orange isn't like the kind of orange I like, it's a bit too salmonish. I think the reason why I came to love Cars in the first place before I completely forgot about it, I lost my umbrella ability. Oops. And now I can't get the heart star. Oops. Why did I get rid of the umbrella? I'm an idiot, unless that's not the room where the umbrella person is. It is the room where the umbrella person is. I have made a mistake and I'm singing it the tune of Triumphant Return from Children of Mana for some reason. And it's the end of the level, so I'm going to have to redo that. And this is the music that plays when you don't get a heart star. So that's the thing. Oh, and by the way, whenever you go into a room which would have an animal friend in it that you already have, the animal friend won't be there, obviously. Also, Kine can inhale underwater, which is nice. See, that wasn't too hard. Anyway, the third stage has my favourite music in the game. Take a listen. The realisation just hit me that this game is 20 years old. This game is not old enough to have a midnight crisis. I was about to make a joke about having a midlife crisis, but then I realised that we have a midlife crisis when you're 40. And this is Rick. We do not need any animal friend for this level side quest, but just because I'm going to let Rick drown, except not really. Oh, he's so cute when he swims. Because basically every side quest follows a pattern. For example, the third stage in a level will always be a mini game, one that requires lots of concentration. By the way, how can, like, sometimes in Japan the circle that signifies that you've got something right is red, and sometimes it's blue, like in this game? And also, why did they feel the need to change the the function of the yes button on a PlayStation controller from on PlayStation controllers? Why did they feel the need to change it so that circle is no and X is yes outside of Japan? Because X being no is pretty much a universal thing. As for A and B, these shark enemies are called Joe, by the way. Or maybe Joey, but I always pronounce it Joe, and I can get a 1-up. What was I talking about again? Oh yeah. The A and B buttons. I always thought of it as being that A stood for accept and B stood for back, and I really should have kept kind for this because now we have currents. I like being efficient. Also, why is it that so many games I don't particularly like have soundtracks that I like? Some of my favourite soundtracks in gaming, like Children of Mana or Pokémon Super Mystery Dungeon. I mean, they're both very well made, competently made games, just not fun to play in minigame. Oops! And now this is the second level I have to redo. Yay! Interestingly shaped room though, and you can't go downwards, you can't speed up your descent, you can only speed up your ascent. That's something. I don't really like about swimming levels. Also, what is this weird line effect overlaying this? Because if it's supposed to give the feeling of being underwater, it's not doing a very good job, and now the background has gone dark blue. Oh, it's just the ocean. Duh. And now auto-scrolling. What's up with this weird, funky dancing seaweed, by the way? It's just weird. Also, the reason I don't talk over the mini games is because I need to concentrate. Can I get... I'm just gonna abandon a wreck in the middle of the ocean. Hello, Joe. Because it's Pokemon logic, apparently. Electric beats water. That was a very odd way to word my thought process. However you pronounce it. Yep, we didn't get it. I'm gonna have to redo the level. Yes! By the way, for some reason, the way this level looks just kind of looks like a bathroom you'd see in a seaside town. Because it has all like those pale blue colours and stripes and seashells and stuff. Next time in my extremely riveting Let's Play of Kirby's Dream Land 3, we will be doing the last 3 levels and the boss of Ripple Field. Until then, stay interesting!